One of the interesting things about this cemetery is it's on a hill. So right below me, there are tombs, mausoleums, that go into the bottom of the hill. And then there's graves all along the side of the hill as it goes up. And then at the top of the hill, more mausoleums. And then on top of those, more burials. So it's a many layered cemetery. Say that this cemetery is overwhelming is an understatement. I don't have a whole lot of time here, which is unfortunate because Sleepy Hollow Cemetery has been a place I've been wanting to come to for a while. But this place is just so large and there is so much to see, and the weather is beautiful and the trees are turning different colors. And I'm overwhelmed. This is definitely a place I want to come back to because this is going to require multiple visits. hard for me to really focus on any like one specific stone for too long, because this cemetery is so large and there is so much to see, so many different types of stonework, so much architecture because of all the mausoleums that they have here. It's just super pretty, but if I stood and checked out nearly every marker that caught my eye, I'd be here forever. So I'm trying to do a lot more sweeping shots so you can get a real idea for the scope of this place and just how pretty it is. But honestly, if you're ever in the area of Sleepy Hollow, New York, this is a must-see. So I'm here at the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery with friends. I've got 3 other friends with me who I told them, like, hey, I like to go to cemeteries. I film stuff for YouTube. I don't think they quite understood how long this was gonna take or how I'm just gonna wander off because I haven't seen them for a little while. That's fine though, I can find them. And I probably only made it through half the length of the cemetery, going like straight up the middle. I haven't even seen like the sides yet. Like there's just so much to see. I'm just like, I'm grinning from ear to ear because this has been kind of like a bucket list location for me to get to for Cemetery Road. And just to be here and see it's just as impressive as I thought it was gonna be is pretty awesome. Now, while the majority of the graves here are super old, they are still burying people in this cemetery. It is an active cemetery, so remember that when you're here. While it is somewhat a tourist attraction, you want to make sure you're being as respectful as possible. Cemetery is home to a few famous people's graves. Irving, Washington being one. He wrote the short story Sleepy Hollow, Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Another one is William Rockefeller in his very modest crypt. This thing is massive. It is huge. It's on the top of the hill. It is a beacon unto itself. This is pretty awesome. There's a Carnegie location. I'm still looking for that one. Had to take the sweatshirt off because I'm super hot, but this is impressive. Now, when I heard that Rockefeller had been buried here, I was expecting something with a little opulence, but this thing is massive. Now, not only is William Rockefeller buried in this giant mausoleum, the rest of the Rockefeller family is also buried along the edges. I don't know if there's anybody else inside the mausoleum other than William, but this is, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space. Normally you can kind of see into them. This has some frosted glass, frosted covering over it, so you can't really see in, but I guarantee the inside is just as impressive as the outside. If there's one thing I've learned on my journeys, is that I could wander amongst mausoleums all day long. It's just a different feel. You know, there's a difference between being around a ton of tombstones, grave markers, that sort of thing. It's another thing to be surrounded by basically small buildings, houses that are just ornate. Some have stained glass, some are decorated, some of them are super simple. You have metal, you have stone, there's just all kinds, and this cemetery has a ton, and they're spread over all over the place, and most of them are just super interesting to look at. I love it. Another cool thing about the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is they have the Bronze Lady. Now, there's a lot of superstition surrounding the Bronze Lady. Some say if you disturb her, if you mess with her, she will haunt your nightmares, which I think is kind of cool and fitting for this type of cemetery. I've officially reached the end of the cemetery. That mausoleum happens to belong to Chrysler himself. But I am tired, and I've got the camera out. I'm gonna be taking a bunch of pictures as I make my way back towards the entrance. So let's get to it.